Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Moving Markets Podcast. I am Jeffrey Dunan, owner and founder of Safe Option Strategies. Today is Wednesday, July the 9th, 2025, and the U.S. stock market has been open for just about 30 minutes as we begin this presentation. Good, strong start to the stock market today. Things are, I think, on all three indexes. Things are up nicely to begin the day. A lot of trade talk, and I've mentioned on Monday, I mentioned yesterday that what I thought would largely drive the markets this week, if it happened, would be information coming out of the White House and out of the administration about trade negotiations. At the beginning of the week, President Trump announced, more tariffs on more countries and letters going out, and everything's going to hit the fan on August 1st, and those countries that don't get on board and negotiate, and on and on. And I'm just kind of summarizing what went on. And I said yesterday and the day before that I thought we would end up kind of flat this week. Unless there was some big news, and I mean big news about trade negotiations. Well, lo and behold, yesterday, President Trump said in front of a camera that sometime this morning there would be an official announcement on 7 countries that trade deals or trade negotiations were done with, and later in the day, even more. So I think in anticipation of that and with some excitement about that, the markets understandably all took off to the upside today. The Dow was up, I think, I want to say 260, 270 at one point in time. I show it up about a little over 210 right now on my TV screen, which is usually a few seconds ahead of this. S&P 500 up 40, NASDAQ up 226. NASDAQ really having a good day, up over 1%. And there's a couple of things. Palantir is down a little bit, but it's only down about 60 cents a share right now, and it was up higher, it was down farther just a short time ago. So it's already pared some of its losses a little bit. CoreWeave, that we now have a couple of trades in, was up significantly right at the open of the market. They're holding on to gains, but only up about 1.2% right now, and it almost seems like they're kind of fighting to get back to where they were in those opening minutes. They were up $4 or $5 a share in the opening minutes. CrowdStrike, another company we have an open trade on, up about 1%, $5.50, looking really, really good. So a lot of good stuff going on. Nvidia, this to me is a big story, and Nvidia stock price is certainly showing it. Briefly hit a $4 trillion market cap this morning. Now I show Nvidia up about $375 a share right now. I think at one point in time, pull up Nvidia real quick. I think their day high was already a little bit more than that. So here's a one-day chart, and somewhere in here they briefly hit that $4 trillion market cap. I mean, this company just seems like there's no stopping this company. Nvidia, fair or not, had some struggles earlier in the year, end of last year, when everything sold off and Nvidia got hit as hard as anybody. But look at how they've come back since then. In a little less than 3 months, you're talking about from $95 a share back up to $165 a share. That is a big run up in a very short period of time. So great to see Nvidia doing so well, and especially when you consider the trade that we have on Nvidia is just looking absolutely fantastic, phenomenal. I'm watching really close today. For every time I lose this screen, I've got a open ticket with GoToWebinar, the platform that I use for this, and a little bit frustrated that they can't seem to figure out why this just randomly wants to drop the screen. But I'm watching it closely today, so if it goes out, hopefully it'll just be for a split second. We'll get it right back. yesterday when I did the podcast, I felt a little discombobulated. I felt like I was rambling on a little bit, trying to fill some space, trying to make more than just a 2-3 minute podcast. Promise I won't do that to you again this morning, but I do want to share one thing that I thought was very interesting. On her, I was out on a long walk this morning in my neighborhood, just getting some exercise, getting some steps in before my day got going. Um, and I was listening to Maria Bartiromo. She had what I thought was an interesting interview with Benjamin Netanyahu. But that aside, that was purely political and not much of what was there was having a direct impact on the markets. But after playing part of her interview with Benjamin Netanyahu, she had Peter Navarro on. Peter Navarro is one of the main financial advisors to the Trump administration. I have mixed feelings about Peter Navarro. I think sometimes he speaks a little too aggressively at times. He is a tough negotiator. That's probably why President Trump has him on his team. I don't question that he is an incredibly smart individual, but I don't like the way he is kind of his tone and the things he says are sometimes very hard nosed, and I think it can be almost adversarial a little bit. But as I was listening to him talk about tariffs specifically, I found it interesting. Maria Bartiromo asked him a question. Oh, and let me set the stage. Let me add one more thing to set the stage. Just prior to talking to Peter Navarro, Maria had on the CEO of UBS, Sergio something, and I apologize for forgetting his last name. But a good interview with him as well. She asked him about uncertainty and asked him specifically about the way tariffs may present some uncertainty in the market, and specifically as it relates to companies and individuals wanting to invest in the United States. And he was pretty diplomatic in his answer. He tried not to be too complimentary about the current administration, but he didn't, he wasn't really negative on them in a big way either. So, but he did talk about the tariffs creating uncertainty, and then right after that, Maria has on Peter Navarro, and she asked him a similar question. She said, Sergio, what's his name, CEO of UBS, said that the tariffs do create uncertainty, and what's your reply? I don't remember exactly how she phrased the question, but what's your reply to that, or what do you say to that? And I found his answer fascinating. I'll do my best to summarize accurately if you didn't hear this interview. He basically said, I'm not sure why the current tariff situation is causing people uncertainty, because if I were not working for the president and I was instead an analyst, a market or a trade analyst, I would look at the countries that we have the largest percentage trade deficits with, and then I would look at what the president has done with tariffs and recognize very quickly that those that we have the largest trade deficits with are those that are getting hit with the hardest tariffs, unless they are willing to come and negotiate. And when they are getting hit with those tariffs, one of the reasons they're not passing those costs along to U.S. consumers is that they have been cheating for so long that they have the ability built in. It's the actual cheating that builds into their economy the ability to absorb those tariffs. And that's why the tariffs are not coming directly to the U.S. consumer the way the naysayers believe that they would. Now, some of that I understand. Some of that is way over my head. Some of it is I don't understand the microeconomics of some of it, but generally I get what he's saying. The president of the United States is being toughest as it relates to tariffs on countries that have the largest trade deficit with the United States, those that are playing the most unfair. You hear President Trump say over and over again, he wants to level the playing field. He wants to have fair trade. And so it's those that he believes are the most unfair currently that are getting hit the hardest, but they also have the ability to absorb it the most. So very interesting. If you have time today, and I have not even looked to see if it's online. There goes my screen again, but I'm keeping an eye on it. Not that I'm moving the screen around a lot. I don't know that a blank screen would make a difference right now. But if you have time today and you can find it, or go back, if you've got Sirius satellite radio, or if you later in the day listen to Maria's show as a podcast, listen to those back-to-back interviews with the CEO of UBS, and then with Peter Navarro, and it really, to me, it did give a little bit of clarity on the whole tariff situation and how that's going to affect us. So absolutely worth listening to. All right. Our collar trades are looking great, although I think Snap and SoFi will get adjusted again sometime soon. We may add another spread trade, or excuse me, another collar trade fairly soon. But everything else is looking fantastic. Our spread trades are looking good, even though our CoreWeave trade, it got hit so hard yesterday that it's down a little bit. Our Amazon trade is up. Our CrowdStrike trade is close to break even. We'll move to the upside very quickly. Nvidia, Palantir looking fantastic, even with Palantir. Oh, Palantir has gone into positive territory now, up about 40 cents a share. So some really good things going on overall. Our collar trades look fantastic. Oh, one final note before I end. AMD is the only open, and this is for the triple play members. AMD is the only trade right now giving me a little bit of heartburn, but I want you to hang in there on AMD for another day. Today is a good looking day. They're up 1.75%, almost 2% to the upside. AMD could very quickly and very easily be back up here close to 146 a share. That's where we need it to be to absolutely guarantee that we get a good profit in the long iron condor that we have open there right now. I think they have a good chance of getting there this week. I'm watching it very closely. If they falter before the end of the day today, or if they start trading anywhere to the downside tomorrow, we will make an adjustment to the trade, probably in the way of rolling both sides of the trade out 1 week and maybe adjusting strike prices a little bit. But right now, just hang in there, stay put. I think AMD does have that ability to jump up to 146 before the week is over. They're up $2 a share today and some change. If they did that 2 more days in a row, they'd get really close. I think they could have one of those days even bigger than that. So just be on the watch, be on Discord as often as you're able to, and be on the lookout for an adjustment to AMD unless they surge a little bit more today and then follow it up with some more tomorrow morning. All right, I'm going to wrap up right there. Have a great rest of your Wednesday, everyone. See you back here live tomorrow for those of you that can join us. Thanks. Bye-bye.